name's Remy Cohen. I'm the CEO here at Domaine Carneros, and today I have the pleasure to be with Eileen Crane, our founding winemaker and former CEO, with a 33-year tenure at Domaine Carneros, and Zach Miller, our sparkling winemaker, who worked with Eileen since 2008. So, Eileen, we're here to talk about Le Rêve. Take us back to the beginning.
It was a request by Claude Taittinger, then CEO of Champagne Taittinger, called me just after I'd gotten the very first harvest in. He asked me to make a super cuvee based on Chardonnay exclusively. He pointed out that Champagne Taittinger had Comte de Champagne, and it was the top Blanc de Blanc in France, Champagne, and he wanted to have the best of American Blanc de Blanc, and he asked me to produce it. Took a while to get to it, though. We did prototypes between 88 and 91. But in 91, when he tasted the base wines, that is the wines without the sparkle in it, he called me back and he said, if the 92 is as good as the 91, we'll have our first Blanc de Blanc. And he tasted the blend from 92, and we bottled the very first Le Rêve in 1992.
Tell us about this beautiful bottle that Le Rêve is bottled into.
Well, part of this was that Claude Taittinger asked for a special designed bottle. This shape is only at Domaine Carneros. Nobody else has a copy of this mold. It's our mold exclusively. And it has this cartouche, this round form with a double ram's head for Carneros. And so I think it's a very beautiful bottle, and it really does say that this steps out from the crowd just by the bottle itself. But certainly the hope is that the wine inside does more than that.
I think it does. So Zach, we call Le Rêve our tête de cuvée. What does that mean, and how do we make Le Rêve so special?
Well, tête de cuvée in Champagne would be the top wine of a particular house and in Champagne, the top wine of the best champagnes are a Blanc de Blanc. And so, although making a Blanc de Blanc tête de cuvée isn't as common in the United States, we follow that tradition of the Taittigers, the inspiration of the Comte de Champagne, and Le Rêve is our tête de cuvée.
And Eileen, for those that don't know, what does Blanc de Blanc mean?
It means a white wine made of white grapes. That's more obvious in like a Blanc de Noir, which is a white wine made from Pinot Noir, for instance. So this is a Blanc de Blanc, is a white wine from white grapes. That's the way it comes. And the Blanc de Blanc that we have, which is our super cuvée or tête de cuvée, there's lots of terms for it. This is the wines that we pull from our vineyards. These are the vineyard locations that we've determined produce the top quality of those grapes. And so those go into our tête de cuvée.
And so Zach, tell us a little bit about that selection process and the blending of Le Rêve.
We will take the Chardonnays and assess the quality, and from each vintage we'll take the top Chardonnays, which aren't necessarily the same blocks every year. A tête de cuvée and our vision of Le Rêve is that it's the best that the vintage gives us, whichever blocks those are.
So Eileen, how long does it take to make Le Rêve?
In a way, you plant your vineyards for Le Rêve, for the most desirable locations in the vineyards. And then when you've selected the clones, the types of Chardonnay, and you put those together in a cuvée, and then you age it a very long time. So the aging is a huge component. Not only do you age it for a long time, but it's a wine that needs age. It's delicious when it's first released, but it really pays dividends if you can wait and enjoy it years down the road.
And so we age Le Rêve for a minimum of 6 years in the bottle, and so it is ready to be drunk when it's released. However, there's different changes that occur in the bottle over time, and how would you describe that?
I think that the Le Rêve is a very long, a well-made Blanc de Blanc is a long-lived wine, and will age for 20, 30, even more. We're at 30 couple years and still counting, and the Le Rêves are beautiful. I think somewhere probably around the 15 to 20 year range, you move from some of the fresher notes to some of the more aged components, and there's still much to like about the Le Rêve, but they do change, and so it depends, and that's a personal preference if people like aged sparkling wine or younger ones.
Eileen, what are some of your favorite pairings with Le Rêve?
Well, it goes with almost anything. Could be potato chips, or it could be a little foie gras, could be a little caviar, but it's very versatile and it creates the moment. So I'm going to tell you a personal story. About 5 weeks ago, my long-term partner and I, over beer and an old bottle of wine, we were sitting outside and we chatted, and all of a sudden we decided we wanted to get married. And I just got up, went to the cellar and pulled out a bottle of the 92 Le Rêve, and that's what we drank to celebrate it. So it is the moment that creates, the wine creates the moment, and the moment creates the wine to a certain extent. But on the other hand, if you had a hot dog in Le Rêve, as Zach would say, it improves the environment.
Well, many
That's
of you have been to our famous lobster and Le Rêve dinners, which is a great pairing. Do you have any others to add?
Well, a sleeper is fried food goes especially well with sparkling wine, and Le Rêve is no exception. So with young kids, we have our fair share of French fries, and I've found that works pretty well.
That sounds delicious. Should we have some Le Rêve?
Of course.
Look at those little tiny bubbles. My goodness.
Beautiful.
Probably age for another 50 years. Or
Yeah.
So. That says if you can keep your hands off.
Right.